Three world champions at 100 meters meeting together in this final. Another man who's twice won a bronze medal. What a lineup. Bird's Nest Stadium. Really good crowd in here tonight, of course, for one of the most keenly anticipated races, not only in these championships, but I would venture to say in athletics history. And because this man transcends the sport of athletics, Usain Bolt, looking to win his third 100-meter title, to add to all the titles that he's got. 6 Olympic, 8 world gold medals, and the crowd building up into a fever pitch of excitement now. Bolt relishes the support of the crowds. He relishes the big occasion. This is his atmosphere, this is his arena, this is his moment perhaps. But he knows, as Rob was mentioning earlier, that this is one of the greatest challenges of his career. Just to recap, he stumbled in the semi-final, he almost fell, he almost lost a place in the final. He had to use all his power, strength, huge stride to come through to take that semi-final win. But it was nothing like as quick as Justin Gatlin produced in his semi-final.
Great sport is about great moments and confrontation, and we have it here tonight. The eyes of the world have descended on this Olympic stadium. This is going to be immense.
Well, there's a big crowd here, 50,000 odd people, but there are literally countless millions around the world who no doubt are tuned in to this race in whatever way they can. And they have only a couple of minutes before we get underway. Bolt, who set the world record when he won this title in Berlin in 9.58. I don't think they're watching from up there, but who knows?
Well, they could be. Anyone who's in Beijing, who's got a ticket to the Olympic Stadium tonight, can count themselves very lucky indeed. You can sense the tension rising.
Well, we move slowly down the track. These men will move at a very different speed, the opposite direction, very, very shortly. And what a field it is, with the champion of 2005, Mr. Gatlin, the champion of 2007, Mr. Gay, the champion of 2009 and 2013, Mr. Bolt. One of the great fields in sprint history has been assembled here, with all 9 of them having run under 10 seconds in the semi-finals. Most of them did it in the heats as well. Those are the 2 Americans, the fastest 2 Americans of all time.
Tyson Gay, Peter, just doing what he always does, those 1 or 2 last sips of water before he goes down to his blocks. Again, the normal thing that you have to do before a big race has to be done.
4 of the 5 fastest men in history at 100 meters are in this race. The only man missing, Johan Blake. Look forward to him coming back perhaps in the future. 3 men from the United States of America, that great powerhouse of sprinting. And what rivalry there has been between the United States and Jamaica, both in the individual events and in the relays in recent years. So here we have it, the final of the men's 100 meters, surely the most keenly anticipated race in these championships. They're both there, the men who held the world record, the championship record, that's the same, and the man who's fastest in the world this year. There are the 9 men: Jimmy Vico, Su Biangtian, Trayvon Bromell, Mike Rogers, Usain Bolt, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, Asafa Powell and Andre de Grasse. That's the field. Sub-10, all of them. We start with Jimmy Vico, 6th 4 years ago, the Frenchman, who's a co-holder of the European record at 9.86. And great to see that China are represented. He's twice done 9.99 for the Chinese record. Soon Bingjian, and listen to the roar for him. Su, 9.99 in the semi-final. The up-and-coming man, Trayvon Bromell, the 20-year-old, NCAA champion last year, second this year, second in the World Juniors, and he's run 9:86. Trayvon Bromell, what an experience for him. His first senior final. Mike Rogers, so consistent. He was sixth 2 years ago, twice the American champion, and he's got a best of 9:85. Countless times under 10 seconds. And there, here's the great man, the greatest sprinter in history, Usain Bolt, the winner in 2009 in 9:58, the world record, the winner in 2013 in Moscow when he ran 9:77. An interrupted season because of injuries. Just, is he ready now? Only just made it to the final from a semi-final near collapse. Tyson Gay then, the man who won in 2007, came back to take silver in 2009. He won triple gold back in 2007. 9:69, the US record holder, second equal fastest of all time. The 2005 champion and second last time, unbeaten for 2 years, 5 times in the area of 9:74 to 9:78 this year. From the USA, it's Justin Gatlin, much the fastest in the semi-finals to qualify for this final. Gatlin going in lane 7. Lane 8, we have a man who's set 3 world records, twice the bronze medalist in these championships. This could be his 100th time under 10 seconds. Asafa Powell of Jamaica goes in lane 8. Like Gay and Gatlin, born in 1982. And then another up-and-coming man, the 20-year-old from Canada, Andre de Grasse. Double wins in the American Collegiate Championships. Double win also in the Pan American Games. He's run 9:95 and 9:75 with wind assistance. De Grasse completes a stellar lineup for this fantastically anticipated race for the 100 meters title in the World Championships. We've heard tremendous roar from the crowd in greeting these athletes, and it'll go down to silence very, very shortly. Eyes peeled towards the start of the 100 meters. Vico, Sue, Bromell, Rogers, Bolt, Gay, Gatlin, Powell, de Grasse. Usain Bolt in 5 with the former champions Gay and Gatlin outside him in lanes 6 and 7. The 100 meters final. What sort of start will he get? Well, certainly a tremendous start by Gatlin further out, and Bolt into his stride now. Those two coming clear of the field now, and it's Gatlin and Bolt. And who's going to win it? It's very close, but it's the great man, I think. It's Bolt who's taken it from Gatlin. He's found the speed when he needs it. Who could almost doubt it? We knew it would be close. It was close, but the clock is showing 9:79, and Bolt is celebrating, and Gatlin has to yield for the first time for a couple of years.
That is arguably the greatest victory we've seen from Bolt, because it's the first time he's come into a major global final, not been the favourite, and been under huge pressure. You knew he was going to win at 50 metres because his start was okay. It's never a brilliant start, but it was good enough that he was in the hunt, and Gatlin felt the pressure.
Yeah, Gatlin felt the pressure on the last 20 metres or so because Bolt was there on his shoulder. The first time this year maybe that Gatlin's had anybody close to him, and it wasn't just anybody, it was Usain Bolt.
And the time's gone up on the screen, and Bolt has just seen that, and it's 100th of a second margin. No one's got that close to him in a major race, but it doesn't matter the distance because Bolt has won it. We're just waiting for the photo to separate who was third.
Fantastic runner. I'd like to see that race again because at the end I think you can see Gatlin overstriding in the last 5 or 6 metres of that race, desperately trying to lunge for the line, but in the end it was no question Bolt won it almost convincingly.
And what a brilliant bronze for De Grasse, a lifetime best 9.92. He's had a fabulous season, a little bit of an outside bet in the outside lane. No one was talking about De Grasse, and he has delivered in style. But Usain Bolt, I suspect, might look back on this gold medal, if not equal to his Olympic titles, then maybe just behind it, because this was the one that many people thought he might lose. He is a great champion, and once again he's underlined his status as the greatest sprinter in history. Cometh the hour, cometh the Jamaican. He is unstoppable.
And in fact, we heralded De Grasse. They've given a tie for the bronze, both De Grasse and Brumel on 9.92, ahead of Rogers' 9.94. Well, Bolt's third title at 100 metres, and he joins Carl Lewis and Maurice Green as three-time world 100-metre champions.
Well, as you say, Rob, I think he is really pleased with this. It's not been a great season for him. He's struggled a little bit with injury, but to come back and to keep the crowd, I think that race, as you said, was showing the calibre of the man. It really was. Marvellous run. Watch again. He didn't get a great start, really, but it was a good start. That's the thing. And you can see at this point of the race, Gatlin, I think, knows he's in trouble. He's starting to overstride, and watch the last 20 metres or so. Look, he's fumbling, he's going all over the place, the arms are not stretching, and he knows when he looked across there that he'd lost it.
You knew at 50 metres Bolt was going to win, and it's the first time this season that Justin Gatlin has been put under pressure. He's had an almost unmatchable series of sub-9.8s. He's been brilliant this year, and it's not as if he completely crumbled in this final, because he ran 9.80, but he made 9.77 in the semi-final look a lot easier than that. He was tight, he was tense, he knew what was at stake, and maybe that's what marks Usain Bolt out above the others, that even though he knows how much is on the line, he still somehow manages to find it and never folds to the pressure.
And a little bit more on those times as well, because there was a little headwind there, 0.5 metres per second. If you turned it round the other way, that would have been perhaps a hundredth of a second quicker. So that just shows just how high quality that run by Bolt was. And indeed, Gatlin's running still the same sort of time that he has been running all year. But he found the master. Just that little bit, but only 100th of a second. Just that little bit better.
But if you look at how easy he was with his 9.77 in the semi-final, it shows you exactly what pressure can do come the big occasion. Great performances. We're obviously talking a lot about Bolt and Gatlin. Brilliant performances from Trayvon Brumel. It's only his first senior season, and he's taken the bronze medal, as has De Grasse of Canada, with a lifetime best. So there will be 4 men on the podium, 1 Jamaican, 2 Americans, and a Canadian as well.
Well, another interesting fact, you can see Ashraf Appel did not break 10 seconds, Peter. He still lives on that 99.
Well, we are seeing in some events a slight changing of the guard, and in fact you've got the 2 20-year-olds sharing the bronze medal. Okay, Bolt and Gatlin are older, but Gay was 6th, Powell was 7th, so the former top men of the sprint a few years back were well beaten.
The headlines have already been written for tomorrow, and now the reggae music begins around the Olympic Stadium, just as it did here in 2008 when he won his first global crown over 100 metres. This wasn't as quick and his winning margin wasn't as big, but I think the significance of this victory cannot be overemphasised. Coming in here as the underdog with a really poor performance in the semi-finals by his own high standards, and yet in spite of that and the injuries and the difficult run into the championship, it is Bolt who finishes yet another championship and yet another season as the number 1 at 100 metres. He is, without question, the greatest of all time.
it was only 1/100th of a second, but actually it looked a lot more clearer than that, really, didn't it? He was dominating over that last 50 metres or so. Gatlin was folding. The pressure got to him, I think, at about 50 metres, as you said, Rob. He was just tensing up, Gatlin. He wasn't looking relaxed like he was in the semi-final. He knew that the big man was there, and that was all that mattered.
And actually, the winning margin is irrelevant, isn't it? Even if it had been tied on time and it had been a dip on the line, it's the measure of the man to beat someone who's in the form of his life. And we have to say that about Gatlin. With so many sub-9.8s, he's never been running better. And he still couldn't beat him.
But Bolt had everything to lose, didn't he, really? But in the end, he got everything he wanted from that.
Well, there it is, lovely head-on shot. Gatlin possibly still in the lead, but here he comes. Gatlin really struggling there.
Gatlin's form really deteriorated over that last 20 metres or so. And that cost him the race.
A brilliant, brilliant win, given the season he's had.
But he hasn't raced that much. That's the other thing, Peter, has he? He hasn't done many at all.
He certainly has not. He started with a beach 100 metres in Rio, and then he came, of course, and ran in London and did pretty well, 9.87. But then had to go back for training, and he's had one 200-metre outing as well. It's a very, very thin season. It's not the ideal preparation by any means, but he's shown he can overcome it.
Well, we've still got the 200 metres to go. That should be quite an interesting race after this, shouldn't it?
And you can argue he's going to be better in the 200 metres. But Gatlin, 19.57 this season, 19.68 this season. Bolt hasn't got anywhere near that. But then he was nowhere near 9.74, which was Gatlin's season's best over the 100 metres. And in the end, it didn't matter. A once-in-a-generation athlete.
Well, the crowd have been waiting for that.
And incidentally, if you're wondering how that camera's actually doing that shot, there's a cameraman on a Segway, one of those crazy two-wheel upright motorbikes. I think Bolt was wanting him to move, actually, and get out the way.
Well, just look at his form then throughout the race on this head-on shot, just concentrating on Bolt. Head down nicely. He got a decent start by his standards, didn't he? And then the power really was switched on here. Very focused, very determined. Knew he had to run all out.
The key was he didn't get a bad start, which meant he wasn't that extra half yard behind Gatlin at 50 metres. Wonderful moments for the Chinese who've remained in the stadium. A great, great race and a great night.
The result of the men's 100 metres, gold to Usain Bolt in 9.79, silver to Justin Gatlin in 9.80, and the bronze tied Trayvon Brunel and Andre de Grasse at 9.92.